Adam, speak of Julius Randle performance, man. Being that was just a off-season game. I mean, it's a tournament. Some say, you know what? They was just having fun.
That
They was just balling. You know,
I agree with that. I think it's a different era. It's funny, me and somebody was having this argument probably last week, and they were saying the same thing. They was kind of like on Kev's perspective, like, yo, 3-4 pros, how you gonna lose a pro-am game? Yada 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 yada. And I'm just like, yeah, like when we stepped on the court, I think it was always let's get busy.
Get on the goddamn court.
But
have no fun.
no.
let me finish.
That's what he's saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's just a difference in eras, a difference in time. Like, you know what I'm saying? But even back then, now I got to keep it 100 because even when we played against the pros back in when I was playing, I'm not saying they didn't play hard, but they didn't play NBA hard. It's just an individual personality trait. Some did, some don't.
But what's your preference? Do you think?
I prefer we do. That's me. If I get on the court, I'm ready to get busy because I don't want nobody giving me 30 and 40. You hear how the city talk about that? That's what I never want on my jacket.
Do you think that can affect the contract?
No. I don't think it affect nothing. It just affect. I gotta remember, none of those dudes are top of this New York, but none of them dudes are New York City dudes.
Which makes it even worse, man.
Well, what I'm saying is New York City dudes who have been on these concrete jungles got a different perspective, a different approach to basketball. Like I just told you, when I come up, it's 50 top point guard who can get busy any night. So I don't want when we get in our circles and start chilling, they're like, yo, remember I bust your ass? Or remember I gave you 30? Or remember because it's games I played in the 90s that dudes are still talking about if you're on the wrong end of those games. But if you ain't really one of them dudes who's from here, you don't feel that type of energy. They're not going to feel that type of energy going to Pro-Am that we would feel if somebody did what happened to them. That's how they shouldn't have showed them.
Hold on. Let Dave.
I look at that.
They came on some celebrity shit.
Yeah, you shouldn't have showed up.
Okay, but let me show you something. I coached in the Pro-Am, and this is my team. I had Mark Jackson, Kenny Smith, Anthony Mason, Tony Campbell, and I think Jamal played with me too, Mashburn. We playing against David Kane, right? And Dave would tell you, like, I yell at them dudes like I'm yelling right now, screaming. Like, I'm saying, wait a second. Y'all got one guard, and he cutting y'all ass. He going after y'all every time, and y'all can't stop him, right? Teddy Jones, that was your coach? Sid Jones, right? They had, who was in the backcourt with you?
Me, Wendell Alexis, George Johnson.
Right, look. They had a mean team, George Johnson. Look, we at the Gaucho Gym, right? Jim Pack, right? Dave came to beat us, and I'm rooting for him, but I'm not rooting for him for this game, right? And I'm so mad because I'm like, yo, y'all sitting down here, they playing hard. I'm like, none of y'all can check them, can y'all? This is the way I'm talking to them. They'll tell you this to my right day till today. I'm talking to them like this. Yo, cut them off. Don't let them get the ball. Let somebody else get the ball. These pros, second time all-league scorer. Kenny Smith, 2 championship rings. Tony Campbell, Jamal Mashburn. We got some bad boys. God bless the dead. Anthony Mason. But I'm saying, he killed him because that was a pride thing. I know he wasn't going to back down because of what's recording. And I told him. I said, yo, he's not going to stop y'all. But y'all don't let him get the ball. They couldn't stop him getting the ball.
That's their fault.
Yo, I want to say one thing, too, man. I want to touch on what y'all was talking about the other day. Real quick as far as Fred Slaughter.
Okay.
Like, when I came out of school, Dave was working with Fred.
Right.
So I signed with, I think I might be the only one from New York signed with Fred Slaughter. Right? First of all, it was a black agent. Was important to me, but wasn't number one, but it was important to me. But the main thing was important to me because my man was working with him. So the whole concept of the agent, like, you coming out of school, you're going to get some bread. Somebody who's never known you for this 20, 21 years, you put this work in, come meet you, blah, 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 now they get ready to eat off you. So my thing was, if anybody going to eat off me, let it be my man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, I had that mindset at 21. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys are coming around now, but if my man is the agent, why am I signing with anybody else?
Right, when you familiar and you feel.
We all talk, and then I know y'all talking. Hold on, Kev. Certain pro-black shit or certain business together, this, that, and the third, and we couldn't even put that dynamic together. So I'm gonna say Fred was a good dude. Fred actually came out here in the Kingdom, in the park over there. They come chill, watch me play.
This the Kingdom, y'all.
This the Kingdom now, but when it was in the big park,
Okay.
Fred was a big guy, rode the limousine right through the project, got out and chilled right in the project. It came and chilled. That's what type of dude. So I just wanted to give Fred a shout out, man. Fred was a good dude, and I just wish somehow all them ball players I just named how deep he was in the 90s, how none of y'all came and broke bread with our homie who was working for a black agent.
Damn.
And let me show you the points about that.
Man, let me say something, man. I'll say this about that. When I came out of college, I met Ray Williams and Gus Williams. And I went with Gus Williams Enterprise. Because I had, when I was in college, this motherfucker Lou was bad mouthing me. I had to get an agent and a representation that was in the NBA. I couldn't just get, like Fred Slaughter would have been good. But, I didn't know Fred at that time.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that I had went with Gus in it because that was my way to get in.
That's solid.
And I had to get into the fucking veterans camp because that was the only way I was gonna get in with this motherfucker Lou and them doing what they was doing. When I got in, my ability and how I played, that superseded that bullshit that nigga said.
Gus Williams' agent was Fred Slaughter. Anyway, what I was gonna say on top of this, yes, I did, and I always appreciated that about what Dave did. And we had a chance to make history even then. I met some people in Detroit. I forget the guy, he had the jeans back then. He was just coming out. Maurice Malone. And they had a sneaker called MVP. I put Dave in the sneakers. I put him and Felipe. Dave wore them at Madison Square Garden. This is what I negotiated. We wanted 10% of the company, right? Because they didn't have no money, right? 10% of the company. Once he make it on the first day, he would have been the first player undrafted in the NBA, part owner of two companies. A jean company, which was real popular in the 90s, and a sneaker company. Owner. I didn't say they paying him a salary. If Magic Johnson had took Nike's offer, he'd had $5 billion, right? But he took the money, the $100,000 from Converse, right? He was taking a percentage. We was doing this as young blacks in the 90s, right? It didn't pan out, but that's what was the truth. That would have happened. And we got a picture of him playing in the, what's it called? He would have had all of Harlem wearing MVPs.
They had that with me too. I had a pair called Jock.
A lot of today's players in the game don't even know nothing about that.
But the players today are more business savvy now.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, they know more.
Money they making, their investments. They
got more money to invest.
They definitely more savvy. They know how to take stocks and
more
stuff.
information too.
Yeah, more. Almost 30 years later.
Let me tell you something, man.
These guys are chasing billions, and it ain't just from basketball money. So they doing good with that money.
Okay.
And they doing it while they still playing.
Now I want to switch it up once more, man. I want to talk about toughness, the mental part of the game when we speak of the NBA. A lot of people will say that the NBA has gotten soft, man.
I would say, man, the NBA has gotten soft. I wouldn't say the players has gotten soft. The rules has gotten soft. So you could be the toughest cat walking the street, but if they tell you you got to play within these parameters, what does it do? Because if I punch you in the face, is it worth me losing $7 million? I don't give. Ain't nobody making me that mad on the court.
So you saying back in the day,
back in the days, you wasn't. You might have got suspended a game. I think if you look at the Boston and Lakers fight, I think when Kevin McHale closed out that Rambus, nobody even got kicked out the game. So if you say let's get busy and it ain't no consequence, then I think dudes now will get busy. But if you telling me if I get busy, it's gonna cost me 7-figure money. I'm not
they let that go,
I'm not
Dave.
that stupid.
They let that go, Dave, until Ron Artest went in the stands and started fucking them
Ron
niggas
lost
up.
$8 million.
That's when they changed that shit.
So my thing is he soft or are they smart?
Okay, so being that you brought that up, Cal, I remember you was telling the story just the other day between you and Dave Britton.
Right.
How Xavier McDaniel and Charles Oakley got into it, right, on the court, right?
That was crazy.
It was no fines given. There was no suspension.
They didn't even get thrown out the game.
You can be tough when there's no consequences.
Motherfuckers used to let us fight, man, yo. And if you like say you hit a nigga, like I hit a few guys and bloodied them, $500, but I didn't get suspended. You know, like we had to fight, man, back then. You could fight back then. And then, like I said, when they went in the stands and started fucking up the fans, that stopped that. That's when all of a sudden when they got fight, you're suspended, nigga. Listen, because that's how they are.
You messing with the money.
Same thing when they tried to change Allen Iverson. See, whenever a culture comes into the NBA that they don't like, they start instituting these fucking rules, like dress rules. Listen, let me tell you what Derek Coleman told Willis Reed. They was fining him $5,000. Derek Coleman came in a sweatsuit with a check, and he gave it to Willis Reed and said, "Listen, just fill in the motherfucker. Fill in the motherfucker.
Yeah, because I ain't dressing.
I'm not dressing." Hey, yo, I'm talking about that was the start of the end of that bullshit. But Derek fucking Coleman told Willis, whatever the fuck.
You know what it is? That generation, a little after DC when Iverson came in, the NBA struggled with that because that's the first group that didn't want to be like Mike. Right. Like they was marketing, projecting everything on because Mike was so clean cut. They had him right in the square they needed him in. And he was such a great player, they just figured everybody would follow that. So now when that next generation came with the tats, the braids, the jewelry, it just threw them for a loop. AI killed him.
They fucked him up.
Killed him, jacked him up.
And they hated AI. They hated him, man. You hear me?
If AI was playing in today's game,
He probably averaged 50.
do you think he'll be able to match up with this point guard y'all so highly, Jalen Brunson?
Fuck match up with him.
We're not putting them two in the same category. Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm saying, but he'll do what he been there. You gotta remember, if you got 30 when they was beating you up and hand checking,
Imagine what he getting
you
now.
gotta add 6 to 8 points
He was
minimum.
getting 50 though, on niggas.
Minimum.
I mean, they was fucking
Imagine
him
AI, you can't touch him.
up. Exactly. Man. Can you imagine?
That's come on.
You gotta touch him because he's moving
He's
too fucking fast, man.
So
they clocked
he
this
fast
nigga.
and quick and elusive.
Listen to me. They
That's a
clocked
hell of
that
a
nigga
combination.
AI. He stole the ball from, what's that nigga, Robin Pack? He stole the ball from Robin Pack. That nigga got down the court
But
in
it's
2
a
seconds.
lot of players right
He
now.
got down the court in 2 seconds.
All right, man. One more question, man.
Sir.
How? I ain't about to know how, man. Nick coach. We're going to end it with this. Who's the greatest Nick coach, man, that ever played a game? Without saying Red Holzman, we already know.
Greatest Nick coach. Red Holzman.
Man, because that's the obvious.
Yeah,
So, behind Red Holzman, man.
well, I got to say Pat Riley. Pat Riley,
Pat Riley. And guess what? He got the Knicks to the championship.
Right.
That Phil Coathanger
With a
Jackson.
whole different style.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the most talent. I
He
mean, they
went
had some
bruising.
talent, but it was for him to go from Showtime to
that,
the Blue Collar,
he
that
went
show.
to-
And
he
I was
went to
there,
the-
and I was in Kent with them. So not just the X and O's, presence, how you keep shit under control, how you check dudes when the dudes need to be checked.
Yeah.
All of that stuff that the fans and outside don't see, I was seeing that firsthand. Like you asked me about Thibodeau, I'm like, unless you in there, you don't know. I was there with Rowley. Any little fight he was putting it out, and didn't care how you felt about it.
He was bigger than that organization. That's what it has to be. Tom Thibodeau is a scarecrow ass coach that they get ready to hang out there.
And that's what it is, man. Basketball royalty in the heart of Harlem, man. David Kane, Kevin Williams, and my boy David Britton. We out, boy.
If he only got